Oh, hey. It's Kristen McCall here. Okay. The original, we had a little technical difficulties at the beginning, but then we got it rolling, and then I talked for way too long and forgot to break it up. And the webinar software I use cuts me off at 2 hours. So I am going to re-record the first few slides that you are going to miss in the video down there. So we're just going to have a dance party real quick. And then I'm going to get into the content. Just imagine. Ready? Here we go. Okay, I'm sure you were just ready for my dance party to be over, but I'm Kristen McCall, and if we haven't met, I'm really excited that you're here, whether you're watching the replay for the first time or you were with me live, and now I'm having to re-record this. Regardless, I am so glad that you are here with me. I'm going to dive into our presentation so that you can learn more about social media. So this is the seminar, our social media seminar. I want to help you streamline your social media, maximize your impact so that it doesn't overwhelm your life. Whew. For how many of you does social media overwhelm your life? I mean, for most of us, I'm sure. Let me share a little bit about me. My name is Kristen Steele McCall, and I love new friends. I'm a total extrovert by nature and just love meeting new people. You can find me online on Facebook at Mrs. Kristen McCall, and then everywhere else online as Kristen S. McCall. You can use the hashtag social media with KM. If you want to share about your experience or maybe a lesson that you learned, that would be great too. Professionally, I studied public relations and advertising at the University of Tennessee. Go Vols, go Big Orange. And I love communications. I have a background in communications. In college, I did internships so all over the place. It was wonderful. I did a wedding planner internship. I interned at a PR agency. One summer, I worked at the Clearwater, Florida Chamber of Commerce in their publicity department. I just like to wear a lot of different hats. And in my career, I've worn a couple different hats as well. I started out of college at in the web department at an agency, and I literally built hundreds of websites using HTML, JavaScript, code, CSS, XML, the whole 9 yards. I think I built over 400 websites in my few years there, which was incredible, and really laid the foundation for being a digital media guru. I also helped our clients from the TA truck stops to Fender guitars with their social media, which at that point was only Facebook and Twitter. So that was back in 2008, and Facebook was only 4 years old. So it was still the brave, wild frontier. And then from there, I started my own photography studio where I did weddings and portraits. And then I became an online communications manager for a Christian university in town. And then I was a publicist at a Christian publishing house. And now I am a blog and social media coach. So that is my background. Professionally, I have worked with New York Times bestselling authors, to Fortune 500 companies and entrepreneurs and anyone in between. So that is my background and about me personally. I'm a working mom, like some of you. I'm juggling the demands of 3 young kids. Those are our sweet babies. Jacob is 4.5 years old. Maggie Lou is our feisty 2-year-old. And baby Jack is about to be 1 year old, which is crazy. My sweet, dear, amazing husband, Justin, is the love of my life. And we have a great marriage. And Juggling the creative work with all the demands of family is one of the hardest but best things of my life. I'm sure you can relate. So let's dive right into the social media basics. These are all the fundamentals that you need to know. And because I am not sure if this came through well the first time, I'm just going to skip showing you guys this video right now, and I'm just going to add it to our seminar page. This is a great video called Socialnomics, and it tells you stats and information about social media. So take a minute to watch that. Jay Baer said this great quote: "You must deliver relevant content to the right person at the right time on the most appropriate channel." So how do we know what is the right content to the right person in the right channel? That is what we're going to be spending some time today going over. So I want you to take a step back from the nitty-gritty parts of social media and think, what is your mission? What is your mission for your business, for your company, for what you do? My mission is to educate you on how to use social media in an enriching way so that it will help you fulfill your calling without it overwhelming your life. So that's your mission. And if I boiled it down to one word, I would say education. And if you had to boil down your mission to one word, what would that one word be? And you can think about that in another way. And as we say, what is your main goal? What is the goal that you have to get your message out? You know, whether that is to drive sales, whether that is to recruit a team, if you're in network marketing, what is your goal? Knowing this is one of the most important parts as we brainstorm our social media plans. If we don't know what our goal is, we won't hit it. So, what do you want your customers to say about you? This is really important too, because online we know people share reviews and testimonials, and this is really important. When somebody new comes to your website, do they know what you do? Do they know how does your website and social media make them feel? You know, what are they saying about you? This is important. So as we dive into this social media content, I want you to know about this hub and spoke model. So this is a content marketing philosophy or model. And what you need to know is the green bubbles are B2C tactics and strategies. And then the orange and kind of the tangerine colors are B2B. So most of you guys will only use the green strategies, but the whole theory is that your website is like the hub of it's really the hub of your plan, and you really want all of these things to work together. So your landing pages and your videos and your email marketing and your social media posts all work together cohesively to drive people to your website. And then your website drives people to your social media. So all of these things work together in a cohesive way. And I'm going to share more about how to do that. Our social media, the processes that we go through, we want to create social media, we want to share it, and then we want to maximize and connect that social media. So I'm sure you know this because you signed up for this seminar, but social media is not going away. It's not a passing fad, and you need to be where your customers are. They are on social media. So let's dive in to the specific social media platforms that we're going to be talking about. So Facebook has 2 billion monthly active users. That's not even users as a whole. That's just every month there are 2 billion people on that use Facebook. That is crazy. So the breakdown of that is Facebook is primarily female. So 83% of online women use Facebook, whereas 75% of online men use Facebook. The average Facebook users are 18 to 49. So these are the millennials and the boomers. And video, as we are about to share, is huge on Facebook. So the stat is 100 million hours of video content is watched daily on Facebook. That's crazy. 100 million hours. So are you helping, are you creating content, video content, that goes in with this trend? And as we dive into Facebook, you need to know if you're in like network marketing. Whoops, let me go back. So if you're in network marketing or any other kind of company, you need to know if your company has policies and procedures about social networking. Does your company allow you to post on Facebook? Do you know if there are rules, like if you're a nurse and you fall under HIPAA or something like that? Like you need to know your company's policies and procedures, what you can and can't post online, and things like that. So also, you need to know the difference between a personal page and your business page. I highly recommend having a Facebook business page, and you need to know that the business page allows for increased insights and analytics, and you can really dive deep into your business on the back end when you use a business page. You can also use advertising with a Facebook business page and things that we will talk about later. On the rise for Facebook are groups, community groups on Facebook. So whether that's, a buy-sell trade group or a mom's group, or maybe your Bible study group has an online Facebook group, these are going to be increasingly more necessary as we get to the Facebook algorithm portion. Also important are Facebook stories. This is something that's similar to Instagram stories and Snapchat, but you can integrate your Facebook. You can integrate Instagram with your Facebook page. Like my Facebook page gets like the stories from my Instagram account go to my Facebook page. So those stories show up as Facebook stories too. Which is just a setting that you can change. The king of video on Facebook, though, is Facebook Live. So I'm sure you've seen this. It's become super popular, but Facebook is putting a lot of stock into Facebook Live. And it is an incredible way to reach new people, for your customers to get to know you more, for you to connect and interact with your audience. Now, Instagram has 700 million monthly active users, and this is also more prevalent with women. So 38% of online women are on Instagram versus 26% of men. And then 90% of Instagram users are age 35 and under. So that is the majority, if not almost all, are, older millennials and under. This is a very visual platform. Images are important, whether that's the polished really beautiful images or the Instagram stories. Either one, it's very visual. A lot of bloggers and writers are turning to Instagram to do micro blogging. So maybe they don't post like really formal stuff on their blog anymore, but they'll do like a mini blog post and then have hashtags. That's becoming popular. And speaking of hashtags, hashtags are key here. You can have up to 30 hashtags on Instagram, and I will mention this in the algorithm changes, but you want to put the hashtags in your caption, and you want your caption, you don't want to touch your caption for 24 hours. So I'll go more into that in just a minute. Instagram stories are like the behind the scenes look at your everyday life. So think about your main feed as more formal. So like that picture is the main profile, but then the Instagram stories are much more casual. Pinterest is an amazing way to drive people to that hub, your website. 175 million people use Pinterest on a regular basis. The biggest thing to know about Pinterest is like a giant Google. It's a big search engine. So keywords are very important here. You want to be sure that when you're pinning things, you want, your hashtag. So if I was going to pin this image, I would say Whole30 rules and getting started with Whole30, like what you need to know, some exceptions, the best brands. And then I would say buy all of you whole.com. And then for this pin, I would hashtag Whole30, hashtag Whole30 approved, hashtag Whole30 rules, hashtag Whole30 recipes, because that's a really popular hashtag. So you just need to know and do some research for Pinterest. And then in any of these social networks, you can do research just by using the search button, or use the search feature, and you can find more ideas for hashtags, or go search for some really popular bloggers or writers or social media people that do sort of what you do and see what hashtags they're using to get research for hashtags. So hashtags are now on Pinterest again, and you can search that way. Pinterest is the only social network that allows for long-term engagement, and I will tell you more what that means later, but like your lifespan of your social media is much longer for Pinterest. So if you have evergreen content, so that's more like how anything that's not directly related to like current events or dates, like stuff like tutorials or how-tos, or something like this, Whole30 rules, or something like that. That's more long term. And so Pinterest is much more suited for things like that. So like top Bible verses for when you're anxious and things like that. Think in terms of a magazine or newspaper editor who is thinking of headlines, and that's kind of how Pinterest is. Pinterest is also all about great photography with catchy headlines. So, Twitter, our president's favorite social network. Twitter has 328 million people active every month on it, and this is primarily male. 22% of online men versus 15% of online women. The average user here is 18 to 29, which is crazy. So Gen Z and millennials hang out here. And Twitter is like a fast-moving conversation, and now they've even updated Twitter recently to kind of the comments and the conversations are even much more visually all in line, which is good. On Twitter, images are really key, and tweets with images receive 150% more retweets on average than tweets without images. So if you post, like a quote, you could even do a quote in the words and then do like an image quote or something, and that's like more likely to be retweeted. Now, this is probably not where your customers are if you're looking for ways to like get more people. So that is like good to know. So there's that. but it is good for disseminating information. So you want to optimize all of these profiles. You want to make sure that keywords are in your profiles. You want to make sure that they are descriptive. And so you want to make sure you have on-brand imagery, that you have on-brand content. Is your headshot the same on Facebook and Twitter and Pinterest? And, are they the same across all of your networks? Because it'll help people get to know you. And then if a new client stumbled upon your profile, would they know what you do? Is it descriptive enough? Is there a call to action? Like, on this Instagram profile, it says, find an Insta meetup near you. And then it has a URL that they can click through. And we're going to talk more, but a lot of people use Instagram, like LinkedIn profile, which I will share more about in a minute. And across all social networks, you want to use beautiful images, but like none of these, I didn't take any of these images, even though I used to be a photographer. You don't have to take them all yourself. I think there's this like perception that you have to become this like magical photographer just because you want to have a great, you want to have a great social media feed. All of these images are from a website that I love called Unsplash, which I will share more about later. But there are several free stock photography websites, which you can go on and search and enjoy, like downloading images that will make your feed look better. So I'm not exactly sure where the other video cut off, but I'm going to tell you about the Facebook algorithm update. And so Facebook, the beloved algorithm update. So a few weeks ago, Facebook announced a pretty dramatic 180-degree about turn to their strategy and how they have been kind of tweaking the news feed. So they had gotten a lot of complaints from people that they didn't like seeing so much business content and Facebook pages that came through their news feed. So Mark Zuckerberg said that as you see this new Facebook algorithm roll out, you'll see less public content like posts from businesses, brands, and media, and the public content you see and the public content you see more will be held to the same standard. It should encourage meaningful interactions between people. So what that means is Facebook is going to help you prioritize more content from friends, family, and groups, less from business pages, which if you're like crying into your cereal, I totally understand why, because the business pages were already receiving minimal, like less than 5% traction. And it just makes everybody really sad as a marketer. But I think it is an opportunity for community engagement, like Facebook groups and building communities. And that is going to be more important than ever. But businesses are going to have to work harder than ever to gain their customers' attention on Facebook. So that just kind of further ensures that Facebook is a pay-to-play platform. Platform. Man, try to say that 5 times fast. So they want you to advertise. If you're a business, they want you to advertise. Sorry, I thought I was going to sneeze, but I didn't. And then the December of last year, like a month ago's update said to their algorithm, made sure that people don't, they're going to start penalizing people who do things like this post to be entered into the giveaway, or share this post to be entered into the giveaway, or whatever. They don't want that kind of engagement. They want more quality engagement. So you're just going to have to ask more questions to your audience and to your customers. So I believe that is the whole part that got caught off from the other video. But if there's anything I didn't cover, you can always email me or comment, and I really appreciate it. The rest of the seminar will be on the following video. Thanks.